Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Angelika's Journal. Today I'm going to be, since I showed you on Monday the plants I bought, the grapes and the rhubarb really need to be planted, and there's a couple other things I want to do. So we're going to be working on this side of the garden, which I call my fruit garden, because that's where I put all the fruits and then of course flowers and stuff, but it's basically the fruit side. So the first project is going to be those two grapes. We're going to check if those cherry sticks developed any roots, and if they did, well, then we'll have to figure something else out. If they did not, which I suspect they probably did not, then we can plant those grapes. So here we go. So these are the grapes. We're going to move them out. Whoops. Whoa, look at that one. You think the grapefruit, look at that, there's a white one right there. I'm assuming these are still good even though they're brown. I don't know. But there is a white one, so it really wants to be planted. It's raring to go. So I'm going to take my shovel. There are a lot of weeds in here, which all have to be pulled also. Preferably with the roots if you can. These are crazy. These grow like all over my garden. That's these. I don't know what any of these weeds are called. I just know what they look like. Whoops, not in there. Hope I didn't put anything in there. So I'm not going to focus too much on it because I am recording. But I am going to remove some. Oh, the clover's in here. And I find the clover is really hard to remove. You basically need, oh, I forgot I have my pokey tool inside. I bought a pokey tool. Okay, see the clover? Those are really hard. Like, look at all the soil I got with it. You can't just pull. They'll break. All right, good enough. Let's see what's going on with these cherry sticks. And that is one hard thing, is when you're working out of a container, you can't use your foot to push the shovel in. You got to use body strength. Yep, look at that. Nothing. It's just a stick. There's no roots, nothing. So it didn't take, even though I used hormone powder. And I suspect this one is going to be the same. Yep. There's nothing. Nothing at all. It didn't take. And that's fine. I'm not an expert. I didn't know what I was doing. I tried. It doesn't hurt to try. If you don't try, you'll always wonder. All right. So the shovel's done with. Now I need the pitchfork. And these roots, these weeds all have to be taken out. And even though there is still quite a bit of peat moss, perlite in here, it is very heavy soil. So I'm suspecting, like all of these barrels, I've been doing the same. Enriching it with sheep manure and slow release fertilizer and adding perlite because it does decompose. And it looks like the soil gets really, really heavy in these barrels. So that's why I wonder if that's what's going on with that raspberry. Anyways, pitchfork. And we're just going to loosen it all up. Remove any weeds that we can. There's some moss in here too. Oh, look at all this. All right. So now that I've loosened it all up, I think before I add the sheep manure, peat moss, and perlite, I have it mixed in a container. Before I add that, I think I am going to add some more perlite from the bag. I didn't show you. So here it is. That's the container that I mixed up peat moss, perlite, and sheep manure. It's all mixed up in there to a nice consistency. This makes me happy. Yes, there's a lot of peat moss, but once you mix it into the native soil that's in the pot, this is going to get diluted because it's going to be mixed into what's in there. But this makes me happy. Nice, light, fluffy. And then over there on the chair, I have my bone meal, some more perlite, and my slow release fertilizer. Which, as you know, I put bone meal in the hole, then I put the plant in, because that's supposed to stimulate the roots and reduce the transplant shock. And then I put slow release fertilizer on top. In this case, since there's sheep manure in there mixed in, and I'm going to be mixing that into the soil, I'm not going to top it up with sheep manure. I just top up with sheep manure when I'm doing the layers. But since it's in the mix and I have to add to this soil, it'll automatically go in this barrel. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to go back over here to my barrel. And I don't know if you can tell from the angle of the camera, but the soil level in here was lower. Since I'm fluffing up the soil, it has gotten higher. And that's because soil will compact. But when you're planting a perennial, got a hair in my mouth. When you're planting a perennial, you really can't be doing this to the soil because the roots are in there, right? So you can only do it with annuals. All right, so now I was going to put some more of this just to help with water. I'll quickly mix it in. I'm not going all the way down, maybe 6 inches. There we go. All nicely mixed in. All right, so now I'm going to add a bit of this mix that I made. You always, if you're making this kind of mix, you're always adding it to what's already there. You're not, this is not the soil you're planting in, because the first year it'll be really porous, and then the second year that peat moss is going to decompose and it's going to be very compact. So you always mix it into what's already there. Plus it would cost you way too much money. Like, oh my God, it'd be so expensive. So we're just mixing in what we just put in there with the soil that's already in here. And what I've noticed is, because I'm not that strong and this does make my arms sore, I start off going this way because I'm right-handed. But when I do it that way, this arm gets sore. So then what I do is I go the opposite way, like this. So then the pressure is now on this arm, and it gives this one a bit of a rest. So there's always ways around it. And it really doesn't matter which way you do it, as long as it's all getting incorporated. All right, good enough. Now, it is supposed to rain all week this week. So these videos, if it starts raining, it'll be a shorter video. If not, then it'll be a longer video. All right, so now I've got 2 grapes. I'm putting them both in here. Now, got to figure out, do I put one on either side? Do I do back and front? My goal for the trellis is to have the 4 trellises and then have crossbars like a cage, and then have them grow up as high as the cage I can make it, and then wrap around. So if it's planted in the front, it would wrap to the back and over to the side. If it's in the back, then it will wrap up and over to the other side. Or I could do it in those 2 places, but then this could get really waterlogged. So you do want to have them on opposites. Maybe I can do the trellis in like a diamond formation, where the grapes are, we put two trellises at the grapes, and then 2 more, and then this could go from this corner to that. Anyways, it's something we will figure out later, but right now I just need to know. I like the idea this way because it allows for airflow, but this way it won't be crowded by that or that, because look at this, the raspberry, it's coming over here, right? So I'm thinking front and back, but then the sun is over that way, so is the back one going to get enough sun? There's a lot of things you got to consider for it to work well. So this, I could stake it up. Like this can be worked with. So I think I'm going to do them side by side. And this one's also needs to be trellises because they're the watermelon and cantaloupe. So I do need to put a trellis up for these guys also. So I think I'm doing side to side. All right. Ooh. Let's do this. This one's going to go over here. So now I need my scissors. All right, remove the tag. I don't like them to have any tags. It says Grape La Crescent. I don't want to get the leaf. There we go. Yeah, La Crescent grape. So this, what I do is I usually do it like if you look, remember on those, I had it pinned on the outside, but the sun can distort it. Actually, those held up pretty good. Anyways, I'll just put it on the inside for now. All right, so I think this guy is ready to be planted. All right, so now we left a hole, the pot size, and then how deep the pot is about that. So we're gonna, and no, there's no sticks in this one, no food in the bottom, because no paper shredding, because I don't have any more, right? So we're just gonna plant it as is. All right, so now squeeze the pot. Ooh, not easy to do. All right, grab a hold of the base. Whoa, look at the roots. There we go. All right, that one's done. And look how much roots they are. Look at the bottom. Like, that is a beauty. But you know what? This is coming out, and some of these are loose, the new growth. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna play with it too much. And I'm just gonna put it in. Make sure the height is to the crown. Maybe a little higher. All right, then we're gonna backfill it. Push the soil down. Add in a little bit more. Because we're going to have to make a hole here for the other one now. So might as well just push it all over. All right. It looks like it's above the crown, but it's just temporary until I get the other one in. All right. Yeah, that's a little high compared to the other one. I think that's a little high. How's that? It's right there. Yeah, it looks about the same. All right, now we gotta take all the tags off. This one is Frontenac Gris. Gris. It's French for gray. Now we're going to take all of these ties off. How did that one stay on? Oh, it has some ties on the top. Okay, so I guess I shouldn't take all the ties off. Okay. I'll take this one off because there's two close together. There, so this one still has two ties up here, one down there, and then this one has a couple of ties up here. Until I do the trellis, I guess we should leave them on that stake, right? And I'm gonna have to do the trellis pretty quick. Okay, so now, ooh, we're gonna get it out of the pot. Hey, there's a little weed here. I don't think so, buddy. There. Yeah, it's coming. Oh, this one, the root system isn't as good as that one. There, just with the thumb, I'm loosening it a bit. This one, the grapes, the roots don't look as good. Okay, well, anyways, now we're gonna backfill it. And whatever soil's in here, we're gonna level it, even if it doesn't cover the grape roots. We're just gonna level it, and then we'll top it up with my mix. There. All right, so now we're going to top it up with as much of this soil as we need. Where's my shovel? What did I do with my shovel? Oh, here it is. Okay, how many of you realized what I forgot to do? My mind is so into getting this stuff planted before it rains. Guess what I forgot to do? I am not going to dig them back up, but I will make a hole. And I keep doing that. I keep forgetting. You're supposed to put some of this stuff in there. I keep forgetting. So I'm just going to make a few holes and maybe put some on top. Ah, silly me. I keep doing that. And then we need the slow release fertilizer. All right, now let's top it up some more. Level it out. Now remember, when you water this, the soil will compact down, right? So always have soil at hand, because you don't want their roots coming up. You don't want to cover the crown, but by the same token, when that compacts down from being watered, you don't want the roots to be exposed. Okay, so now we gotta water it. Where's my garden hose? I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I should have had this here before I started recording. So now you're going to give it a good watering. You want everything to get activated. You want the roots to get nicely soaked. You want all the bone meal and the slow release fertilizer to get nice and wet, so it'll release the nutrients. The first watering, maybe even the second, third, you want to really douse it. But you don't want it to be waterlogged, and if it is wet, you don't want to overwater. But you want it to be thoroughly wet so it has a good start. So maybe the second and third, the first and the third, I'll give it a good dousing. The second, I won't so much, maybe, because it's a big barrel and it's plastic. It's holding in the moisture. Yes, there's holes on the bottom, but which I should actually poke those holes and make sure there's no calcium lime buildup, that it's plugging up the hole. All right, looks good. None of the roots are exposed. All right, she's done. And while I'm here, I'm going to water this guy because he needs a lot of water. I suspect I have a lot of plants in this. Let's see what I got in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gotta be careful, they're thorny. Well, there's at least 8 trees in there, 8 stems. So technically I could probably dump it, split it in half, put it in 2 barrels. Actually, that might be something I'll do. And then that one I might put in the garden with the other one, because the one in the garden is a spring blooming, because it hasn't created any buds yet, which is why I know that's a spring one, just like that one. So maybe I'll put that with the other one, and then that one will be empty, and then I can put half of this in there. So the 2 summer ones would be here, and the 2 spring ones would be in the garden. I might do that. I'll see. So this guy's done. So now we need to go down to the rhubarb. How much time did that take? 30 minutes. Okay. Oh, and I wanted to show you. Look at this. Can you see it? I guess violas are perennials and they spread like weeds. That's a viola. And it's coming up off the ground. And the soil's pretty compact. So imagine it's able to grow in compact soil. Isn't that pretty? Just a pop of color right in the middle of all the green. I think it's gorgeous. All right, so now we have this one. I don't know what to do with. Yes, we got to plant the rhubarb, but what the bleep is that plant? I have no idea what it is. Okay, I'm just bringing the container of soil over to this side, which is why I like using a wagon. Don't have to lift it every time. All right. So now you are going in here. I'm taking out because you are not the same. I doubt very much you're the same, but you do look like something that's not a weed. Could be a weed, but I've never seen a weed look so pretty. Like all the weeds in my garden, like they're all along the back here. None of them look like this. And I do have a tuber in there. I wonder if I mixed up the begonia and the rhubarb because I got both tuber. No, but they're packaged separately, so I wouldn't have confused them. And a begonia would have bloomed by now. No, that's not that. I don't know what it is, but okay, people. This might be a huge mistake, but it's a garden, and whatever mistake you made, you can buy another one and fix it if you need to. I have no idea what this is. This is not a rhubarb unless it's a new variety. But according to what I ordered online, this is not what I ordered. So here it goes. We're digging it up. Uh-oh. I am going to move it to another container. Oh, it's potato. Who planted potatoes here? Oh, somebody planted potatoes. I've never done potatoes before. No wonder I didn't know what it was. Those are potatoes. Okay, I'm going to pause here. I'll be right back, okay? Hold on. Which button is pause? I think it's this. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I just went looking for my boyfriend to see if maybe he put potatoes in it to grow potatoes. At least now I know what it looks like. Like I said, this didn't look like a weed. But this is not what I wanted here, and I already have a rhubarb tuber in there. So, and potatoes, you're supposed to plant it low in the container, and then as it grows, you're supposed to add soil, and you keep adding soil. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry, Scott, if you're watching this video, which you probably will be at some point. We're not growing potatoes in here. This is not what I had planned for this bed, and this is not how you grow potatoes. And if it wasn't him, then I have no idea who did this. But this is not going to be potatoes, sorry. They're all being removed. If we're going to do potatoes, if you want potatoes, I'll do potatoes, but not this way. Oh, these are, you know what? It was probably me. You know how I put organic into the kitchen scraps into containers? Like this. There's a whole bunch of potato skins. It's my table scraps. I bet you it grew from the table scraps. So maybe it wasn't him. See? You can't always accuse. This is the table scraps. And I got potatoes out of table scraps. Isn't that cool? But, nope. Ain't gonna happen. It's good to know. Maybe next year we'll try that out as an experiment. Because obviously it does work. Did I plant the rhubarb too deep? Could be I planted it too deep, the tuber. Oh yeah. Oh no. That's table scraps. So where's the tuber? I know I stuck it here in the middle. Did it decompose? Oh, there's some roots here, but that's probably the potato. Because I know I put it in the middle because rhubarb is very, like, big branches and big leaves. So I know I stuck it right in the middle. Did one of the critters dig it up or something? Like, where is it? Maybe the potato pushed it to the side, but it should be here somewhere. Oh, there's another potato. There's another. All right, well, it's nowhere to be found. A lot of potato starts, but no. Well, it's nowhere to be found. Okay, enough searching. Let's get this ready for the one I bought. All right, first order of business. The soil's pretty high. So, gonna add perlite just by itself. Because it's very heavy soil. Now I need my pitchfork. You know, I wonder if I'm getting affected by the pollen. I never used to be affected by the pollen. But I notice every time I work in the garden now, I get the sniffles. Like, I watch my videos and it's like, boy, do I sniffle a lot. But I've never had allergies. Never reacted to the pollen before. I wonder. All right, so see all these roots too. They could be from the potato and you don't want it to start up again. I'm thinking of potato scraps. Maybe I'll just leave it down the side. That way if it does grow a plant, it's not going to be among the rhubarb, right? And there are ants all over this thing. So I think I'm gonna have to do my ant remedy. Oh, I wonder if that was the rhubarb. No. Okay, so now I am gonna add some of my soil because there's the sheep manure in it. So 1, 2, I don't know, maybe 1 more. That's pretty deep. You need room for water too, right? But I do want it to loosen up the soil. Keep it so the roots can move around. All right, that's enough. Okay, so rhubarb down the middle. Move all this to the side. Oh! See, the crown is below the edge of this, which you want, because when you water it, you want it to go in here. You don't want it to run over the side. So you want the top of, like the root ball, to be lower than the edge of the pot. So this, it's a Victoria rhubarb. I'm gonna push it down there, and we're gonna put her in. Sorry to make you move around so much. Okay, so you can't squeeze so much because it's really compact, and you don't want to pull and break it. It's like fighting back, so you don't want to pull too hard. So then what we do is we just tap it. There. May take a few tries, but it does work. And there's some nice white roots on here. It looks like that's new growth. So just with your thumb, you're going to loosen just a bit because you're breaking roots every time you do this. So you just want to, just a bit. Okay, that's enough. And we're burying her in. There we go. And I'm going to leave the extra soil. If there is any extra soil, we're going to leave it towards the side, because we don't want to cover it higher than it's the pot, the level at when it was in the pot. You don't want to go higher than that. But there's nothing wrong with keeping some soil at the edge here, so that when the level goes down, you could just move it in. Like there's not much extra. Okay, now she needs a good watering. And my hose is on the other side. Be right back. That is so cool, though. That a potato plant from the table scraps. I heard it happening, but I didn't think it would happen to me. That's so cool. But maybe next year we'll do some potatoes. Not as if I have to buy any, just table scraps. And we saw it does work. Oh, you know what I forgot? Did I do it again? Jeez. What am I going to learn? All right, well, there's water in it, so I don't know if it does any good if you put it on top, but I'm putting it on top. I'm not digging it up. It will have to do. All right, another one done. I think I am, well, actually I can do the chamomile and then we'll stop the video. So I know it's probably getting long. What I wanted, we're gonna just let that soak through, and I'm gonna make sure that it's thoroughly wet. But with the chamomile, you see how it hangs over the side? Well, a few years back, at least 5 years, because we were in the condo at the time, I made these guys. You could buy these in a pack, I don't know, a pack of 10 or a pack of 8 or something, I don't know. And then I took 2 of those, cut it to make these crossbars, and I made little fences. And at the beginning, I was putting it this way. But then I'm like, well, you've got the points here, so why not put it this way? So then I started doing it this way. And then last year, I just leaned it on some containers. But they do come in handy when you have a plant like this and it's smothering the grass, so we can't even cut the grass. Ooh, there's a spider web in there too. So we're going to, well, actually I could even just have 2 in and 2 out. Will that work? No, it won't work. It'll have to be all in. And then you just push it down. Like it's just smothering everything here. And yes, I am going to be trimming it back. I have still chamomile tea in the house, so I'm not going to be harvesting that yet. But I am going to put the other one on the other side. You can see underneath it's all dead growth. I should have harvested it, but that's okay. We're going to cut it back on another video and let it start all over again. Oh wow, the roots are pretty in there. Oh. Okay, so maybe on the next video we'll go and cut it down so it can regrow again. And with chamomile, you can get like 3 harvests here in the north. You can get 3 harvests out of it. That's how fast and how big it grows. And that's just temporary. Maybe after I cut it down, I'll move this one a little bit more over, maybe on the side there and on that side, and let it come down at like a waterfall. But yeah, see, some of it's going to seed already. But if you cut it back, it will grow back. Right? That's why I say you could get like 3 harvests out of this, but I don't drink that much chamomile tea. So the first harvest, I just end up tossing in the garbage because it's more there for the bees so they have something to feed on until everything else in the garden grows. Because the chamomile is one of the first things that'll be ready, like with flowers. It'll be the first one to flower. So that's why I leave the first one for the bees. And like now when it's overgrown, oh, I'm sorry. Didn't even have it focused. Jeez. Horrible photographer, videographer, whatever. Anyways, so there you have it. All right, I will let you go for now. And the next garden video will probably continue on, do some more. I'm going to go have lunch. It's probably about 12 o'clock now. Something light. Then I'll come back and do another video with the continuation. All right, well, everybody, have a lovely day. And do what makes you happy, and everything else will fall into place. Take care, everybody. See you soon.